Good evening, everybody. This meeting is televised by Area 58. And we have 4 members tonight. And we're going to start with petition
997.
997. And there's nothing on it. I just...
I can read this. Petition number 997, applicant is Eric Blankenberg. This is for 20 Madison Road, Halifax, Mass. And he's seeking to build up on our property, adding 2 bedrooms, adding a bathroom, which is a full bath, and opening up the living room.
And you couldn't go sideways because the neighbors and stuff, you need a variance of the side lot line.
Yeah, I was going to go as far as
Yeah.
7 feet from it, and then you guys were going to come out and do a site visit, but I just canceled it because...
So the best possible way that you wanted to do is go up, and if that's good for you, then
Yeah.
it's, you don't need a variance, you're just going straight up from the middle of that house.
Yep, straight up.
You're not increasing the size of the footprint, correct?
No, it's just going to go straight up. Because originally, he put like the roof would go out to us like 18 inches on each side, and I was like, please don't, just go straight up.
And
I don't want to do...
the sides of the house you're not touching, only you're touching the middle.
No, nothing on the sides, only straight up.
And like you said, I think earlier, that was from the original foundation, which is just extending from it too.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the middle of our house.
Sure.
Straight up.
And you're adding 2 bedrooms upstairs and a bath?
Get a bathroom. yes.
Any questions from members of the board?
No, it seems good.
No?
Anybody want to make a motion on 997?
Nobody to speak here for it.
Anybody, are you here for it?
No one?
I'll make a motion to accept petition 997 as presented for a special permit.
Second. I second it.
Yep.
Yeah, as it is. As
You okay with
presented. I'm okay, yeah.
Jerry?
Yes.
Yes.
Myself, yes. It passes 4-0. Good luck.
Good luck.
Get all done before my daughter...
We have the plans. This is yours.
Yes, thank you
Thank
guys
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do we have a form in there? Sign to sign?
Right.
It's petition 1002. That's for variance.
There's no forms here. It goes under petition 1002.
Yep.
Would you like to read that?
Sure.
Tree.
Okay, petition 1002. Michael Patrizzi,
Yeah.
7 Old Ocean Ave. Wants to build a new 23 by 8 foot deck on the back of his house. And there will be an 8 foot at the shortest point to the Ocean Ave, 9 Ocean Ave. So you're looking for a variance on this too?
Yes, whatever I need, and the neighbors are all for it. and,
How far you, what's the closest to the side lot line?
The coast is on the west side, west of Quonset. At least I have a double weight, so closest will be about 12 feet, which is more than most of all the other houses have existing. I mean, the house right now is about 6 feet existing.
You don't have the forms for the approval or denial, will you, for us to sign the last petition? She had legal signing.
You have a plot plan?
Do we have any blank piece of paper we can, please?
I have a plot plan.
Yes, yeah, we got it right there.
This one? We have it, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Can we see yours for a second?
I think this one on both sides. Both
so
this
the
way.
back of the house, so there was already existing on this side.
Uh-huh.
It's
You are.
basically, right, so adding the deck there.
You're adding to the back of the house.
Yeah, it's in to the back. Yeah, it'll be an outside deck. I purchased this 2019, right before COVID.
Yeah,
And so with the 4 years delays, we're pretty much just finishing it up now. And the whole project was, I just want to make one flat level for me and my wife's future. Basically making it all handicap ready and everything, so the deck will just be like a deck straight out.
there's no roof on the deck or anything?
No. No.
So how far off the deck?
Right now, we're gonna go 8 feet. We're thinking, we want to go 8 feet.
You're gonna
would
be
be
9
plenty
feet
for us.
from the,
So right now you're 15 feet off the property line?
Going out the back, right now?
So you-
Oh, yes. Well,
So
there's
you
a-
reduce it to 7 then, right? It's an 8 foot deck?
yes. Yeah, on the side, this was already existing on this side.
the stairs were there even before.
Yes. Yeah.
And how high is it from the other ground?
Will be 11 feet. Yeah, because it is.
So do you have a, do you have a
I'm
first
sorry.
one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, we're really looking forward to spend the rest of our lives here.
You've been in front of conservation?
I have, I'm working with them now, just on the footings, for the footings. So they have some conservation-friendly footings that I didn't mention yet. I went right in with the sonotube, but I shouldn't have done that. But, yeah, they have,
What's that?
Would they have to approve this?
I think so.
And then
He doesn't have to approve conservation, he can't do a building permit anyway.
right, yeah.
This side.
Really?
Yep. Conservation can't stop me from issuing a building permit. They can stop me from issuing an occupancy. But technically, through the state, I would have to issue a building permit if zoning is okay with it, and it meets the building code, and then conservation is on their own to chase them down afterwards. We'll try to work together, but statutorily, I would have to walk away.
Technically, we don't need anything from conservation either, right?
Correct.
No.
I mean, I'll do whatever conservation will change the size of
The only place you can bring that in for this would be, because it's a special permit, the detrimental to the neighborhood, it does play into,
But
like I said at that point.
there's no wetlands right there. But the encroachment on the water.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. No, it's the sand in the sea, above sea level, about 4 or 5 feet.
But your property, there's no wetlands on your property.
Wetland, no. No, just the way back there.
This is where the water line is.
Yes, at that, yeah, at
And
that
you-
time, it's extremely high right now, as everyone knows.
And you're gonna be 8 feet away from the water?
So,
Or 7?
At the moment, with the lake at the height that it is now. So we're hoping, we've been hearing this, they're gonna be able to do everything. But I mean, the footings would actually be...
Under the deck.
Yes,
Yeah.
they'll be about 3 feet back. And I'm just looking for 3 or 4 footings, which is, they have these, I think they're called heliac, where it's actually a temporary, they screw in to the ground, which I haven't proposed that yet to the Conservation Commission. And then they have another type of brochure on it where it just sits on top and pipes go in and just pin it down, so we don't have to do any cement foundations, no cement sonotubes and that. Yeah, yeah.
It's a concrete block like this, and then they drill piles down through
Yeah, I
the
think
sides.
it's actually class, yeah, I think.
So they don't have to dig into the ground.
No, the first thing he was talking about was a helical pile, just a big screw that goes down, they weld a cap on it, and you build your deck off of that. The second
This
is
is
the
the-
diamond pier, it's just...
The diamond pier, so it just sits on top. There's no digging.
Just an inch pipe going under the
Right,
deck.
looks like, yeah. But even in the building plans, he did it for the heliac where they twist in, they screw in they're temporary.
It's like an auger, goes around.
Correct,
And
yeah.
it just, once the auger's in, it's like getting your auger stuck. Once it's there, it's there. and start
Interesting.
again.
It is.
Ingenuity. Oh, it's yours.
Let me see.
So this is one of the options. It sits right on top and just pins in there, so it's just temporary.
Wow.
File for conservation friendly.
Interesting.
Anybody want to waive the onsite or any more questions?
I'll make a motion to waive the onsite.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So the plans show 15 feet off the back of the house now. So safe to say he's got a variance for 15 feet?
There would be no variance. Because he's already...
But if he's reducing it,
What's that?
if he's reducing it, wouldn't there be a variance?
He's reducing it.
He's putting a deck on, so if he puts an 8-foot deck on,
But because he doesn't meet the 40 feet regardless, he can never meet the 40 feet.
right,
So we can't variance something he can never meet, so that's why it would just be a special permit.
special permit.
He's extending his pre-existing non-conforming nature of
I
his
thought in the
house.
past we've done variances though. Do you recall?
The variance?
Yeah, even if on a lot of these lots in the Bonnie Estates, if they never are gonna meet the requirements, we've done variances anyways, right?
Now, is this a new thing that if they can't meet it?
No, this is just case law, essentially. It says special permits can be used for pre-existing non-conforming, because we're extending, we're not looking, he wouldn't be looking for a variance, because there may be nothing different about his lot than any of the other ones, so that a variance would never get it. He would never,
Never
there'd be
get
no
it.
reason to get a variance, because every other house on that lot has the same
Same
thing.
thing.
So they moved it to special permits in the last, probably 10 or 15 years, that they push those more, or if he met the 40-foot rear setback and then was gonna put a deck on, that would be a variance, because he's conforming now and we're making a non-conformity. He's already non-conforming, so it's it can't ever be conforming within reason.
So because of the non-conformity, he's
Because it's
allowed a special
non-conforming,
permit.
You'd be allowed a special permit because you're just, you may be making more of a non-conformity or extending a non-conformity, but you're not creating one. The variance procedure should only be for creating
Creating
brand new
one.
non-conformity to the house, lot use, etc.
So even though the variance is on the packet, they're not asking for one.
Well, that's why I said, so if you guys deem it to be a variance, by all means, you can make it a variance now, we don't have to re-advertise it and such.
Right.
My feeling would be this would be a clear-cut special permit for the extension of the non-conformity.
What's the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion.
From 4 members, you need 4 yeses. So just so you're aware.
I'll make a motion on petition number 1002, approved as submitted for a
Second.
special permit.
Second.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And myself, yes. It passes. Good luck with your deck.
Thank you.
Hey, this is yours.
We plan to be around town, so.
We'll come and have coffee with you.
We'll have some coffee as well.
Approve the bills.
Yeah.
Sign it.
I'll make a motion.
Is there anything else we need?
No, once you, the 20 days, and you go downstairs, and they'll tell you what to do with it.
Okay, yeah, just making sure you need.
Yeah, just,
You guys could add a provision to that it must pass through conservation first to protect the conservation board.
Yeah.
You could add a condition to the special permit, otherwise he could start building in 20 days.
oh, no.
Conservation or no.
You have to go through, you have to go
Oh,
through the
right, yeah.
conservation.
I don't think he's the guy that's gonna do that, just.
What the conditions are, you have to go through conservation before you even start.
Right,
I mean,
Yeah, okay,
you have to
great.
give them, go in front of them and see what they want first.
yeah, I had set up the 2 meetings and then, yeah, this came
On-
first, so.
That will be noted on our decision that
Yeah,
the condition is that you have to go through conservation before you even start doing anything.
that's fine, yeah, we still can finish.
As long as you understand that we're telling you that right now.
Yeah,
And in case you get into trouble, then you don't blame us.
thank you for your time.
Can I just say, I've had the property next door before.
Yeah, she's a neighbor, she's one of the borders.
It's closer to the water than that property is. And I've been there 15 years. It was there when I moved there, like that. And then all our other neighbors are, well, most of them are closer to the water than that property is. And it doesn't flood, mine doesn't flood, that doesn't flood in the 15 years I've been there, anyway. So, if that makes you feel better. And we have to tell conservation that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for that.
Well, you have to write something, right?
Oh, wait.
You want to write petition number 997? Yes, there you go.
We need to approve the bills.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion to approve the bills for the Express newspaper invoice for petition 1002 and petition 997.
Did you say approved?
Yeah, the petition 997 approved, then we'll sign it, and we'll do one petition 102.
One was, or two,
Do you want to second the bills?
Oh, I second that. I second the bill to be paid.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 Sign.
There you go, petition 102. That wasn't easy.
There's another petition.
That was an in-law apartment that was coming in.
It was
It
there.
was, I thought there was another one tonight for garage.
No.
On the website, it shows
Oh,
three.
right. It doesn't show here. What's in
So the one in Madison is the one that the neighbor came
Where the hell is this in?
and was so
She come from?
upset.
I missed that meeting. so-
Oh, you missed that meeting, yeah. Oh, no, they were so upset about them going sideways,
Oh,
yeah. Oh, that's it.
Oh, then y'all can have fun with those.
Did it to herself.
just a quick update before we close the meeting. Bylaw Review Committee, we should have a copy this next week
Oh, yeah.
to the board, and we'll either approve it, and then we're gonna have a meeting the following week with the selectmen, and then it'll be distributed to all of the, the planning board. We'll get copies here for review.
A lot of changes.
There's a lot of changes. I mean, we're trying to streamline it. It has been really helpful in streamlining, trying to get this here the way it should be. We're trying to get everything in alphabetical order, so we're not jumping around looking for something. Some of the big changes that would be coming up is in-law apartments will be deleted, and it'll be apartment by right. It's going to be.
What does that mean?
That means that, you can build an apartment in your house, and you still have to go through all the permits and everything else, the building and everything for it. But if you want to, and it's a little bit smaller, I think, in in-law. In-law is around 900 square feet.
I think we kept it at 900 square feet.
We kept it at 900, yeah. And 900 square feet would be top. So in-law doesn't make any difference anymore. They can be an in-law apartment, or it could be an apartment that your kids want to live in, or you want to rent it to your friend if they want to go there too. So that's
So it's no longer an immediate member.
exactly right. It could be anyone. And I think the big part of it there is housing is getting really expensive.
It's an unenforceable thing.
Yeah.
They might start it for their daughter, son, etc. After that, we have no idea who they're renting to, and I'm not in the business of DNA swapping, so.
Yeah.
So now,
And
no
also
longer that.
circumstances changed.
Exactly. It just gives a little more freedom, a little more leeway, but still keeps it under the control of the town, where you'll have the right to inspect it once a year if you get problems, calls, issues.
Yeah.
The town still has the right to go in and kind of clean it up a little.
It'll be an income producing.
It could be. I mean, it could still just be for your son, daughter, etc., but then they leave.
But if they want to
What do you do with it?
if they want to use it to extra income, they can.
Yep.
Like an in-law apartment, you
Yeah, so
couldn't.
we did put a provision in there so that they would have to fire protect it. If they're not gonna have an opening between, they would have to fire protect it the same as a duplex.
Okay.
So it protects the towns, make sure that they're two separate entities while still being just one entity.
One entity.
And they no longer have to do the 5-year thing.
No, because it's
What-
the same thing.
Yeah.
So what about all the current in-laws?
If
They
they want
grandfather in?
to, so they'll be able to, right now, they'd have to still keep the door open between them unless they were to go back and pull permits to fireproof the wall between the two.
So would they still need to come up every 5 years to renew the permit?
Who's got the list?
So would
We
they,
don't.
my thing is,
Enforceable provisions.
they should be grandfather as well in that new law.
Pre-existing.
Pre-existing
non-conforming.
non-conformance, yeah.
You'd still have the right of refusal for the every year inspection.
Section, yeah.
But again, they would have to maintain the opening in between unless they came
They
in
can
front
do
and
the
decided
full
to close it off fully, which for most people, once you've already gone that far, it's a lot of money to go back, try again.
Try to
So
close
most people
it.
probably aren't going to, but figure right now, most of them are being rented illegally anyhow. Why not give it an avenue for legality instead of chasing something we can't really get?
Try to enforcing something that you cannot,
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's a few things that have been cleaned up. No longer 50% of, if your cost of, or addition 50% of the value of the house, that's been taken out. Doesn't matter what you spend, it won't make any difference.
That to mirror 40A a little closer, so it mirrors the state zoning act instead of working around it.
And that's part of what else has been cleaned up to make it more current with the state rules and regulations that we.
Other towns are following suit with it, or?
Well, I think so. I think everyone's starting to look at their zoning laws, especially now with the MBTA section. And I think we've got the right, I don't know if anyone read the article that was in the Globe probably about a month ago. A lot of towns are doing exactly what we're doing. They're rezoning an existing space and saying, okay, you can now put 3-family homes in there. But in order to do that, you got to tear down everything that's there and rebuild. And it makes it so that it's not viable to do that.
Yeah.
And we're saying basically the same thing. If you want to go into these condos, okay, now you're going to buy the 300 condos, 300 condo owners. You have to buy them out and then tear the whole place down and then put apartments in, which is not going to happen.
No.
And then we have, I think do we have the 10% on the low income?
We did add the 10% rider.
So that all
We
of these.
still have the 40B. No.
40B is still available. Like
You can still have it.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about
We
that.
added a provision to the MBTA clause that 10% of anything over 10 units would need to have an affordability.
Yeah.
So that it
So
starts
there's a lot of little things that have been thrown in there to makes it really kind of tough for a developer to come in and say, okay, this is worthwhile for me to develop. And these are the things that the law really says. All they want to do is just rezone. They're not saying you have to build these apartments, but you have to rezone so that they could if someone wanted to.
Yeah, because most of this was coming from the state consultant.
Exactly, yeah. It's all from the state, and there's a good article on the Globe that there's like 30 towns that have already been approved by the state that have done exactly what we intend to do. And that made me feel good because I'm saying, because we were wondering whether this is going to fly or not. But
It's flying.
after I saw these other 30 towns, they've all done the same thing. They're saying, yeah, you can put 2,000 apartments in this town. But in reality, they may only get 100 because that's what's really the space that you might be able to build some in. And is that worth a developer? Really not. But that's what they're trying to do. A lot of these towns are doing because they're saying we just can't do that. Our town is too small or whatever. It's the ramifications down the road that hurts everything else. Schools, water, you name it, everything else that goes with it. Yeah.
So they gotta take that into consideration
Oh, sure.
before they,
Your biggest hurdle will be good information for town meeting.
Oh, yes, yeah. And I think
To
part of that.
get the right message and the right meeting out there.
Yeah, and they're coming up with, they're gonna have a couple of different meetings for the public and everything else to explain all this here before we go to town meeting, because you know how town meetings can be.
Very hot.
If we have to do line item by line item.
A lot of misinformation out there.
There certainly is, but I think that it's turning out very good, for what's going in there. It should be an easier document to read and utilize. You're not jumping around, oh, well, yeah, but I want exception in, Article 167.8 says I can do this, but really you can't. That this is what we're trying to get rid of all that stuff, so everything is, whatever you're looking for should be under one item, boom. You don't have to go anywhere else to look at it. Everything pertaining to multifamily housing, say, is going to be listed right here. That's it.
And reduce all the contradictions in there.
Yeah.
Because this page says you can, this says you can't, and this tells you how much it costs to do it. Which choice do you go with?
Yeah, and we've had some pretty good discussions on a few different items that people can take in a different manner.
The mixed use, that was the other.
That was the other one, yeah, the mixed use development.
Mixed use development, so you put a business downstairs and a couple apartments.
Up there.
Upstairs, yeah. And
and how's that project going? Is it on track? The
Which one is that?
across from how many Lucas?
The over 55.
They're actually, they're waiting, they have to go in front of the planning board for site plan review. They were supposed to go on last Thursday. They asked for an extension, so they're going on the 20th, the end of this month, I believe. So once they get through that, I think they've had decent luck getting, the zoning was approved by the Attorney General, so that hurdle's cleared. I don't know where they're at with conservation. I think there was a misfiling on their part, so they're working with Conservation Commission to rectify that and get all that paperwork in order. And then they would, once they clear all those, then they'll present plans to me, I'm assuming.
What zoning is changing?
So the overlay zoning for the 55 and over community there,
What's its own now?
it was zoned residential, they rezoned it to commercial and added the overlay district of the 55 and over
55 and over.
housing. That was town meeting last,
So why did it have to go commercial?
I don't know. I was not here for that, but my thought would be multifamily housing is not allowed in a residential neighborhood, so it's probably allowed in commercial.
I
Commercial
think it's
one?
always,
Wasn't one parcel rezoned for commercial and the other one wasn't?
It may have been.
Yeah, I think there was,
What did we pass?
because they have one across the street, they're building across the street.
yeah.
One of them, I'm not sure which one, but one of them was not zoned properly. That's why they had to be changed
So it's
to,
probably where the Peach Farm was.
probably, yeah.
Yeah, because we've done the multifamily developments in
Yeah.
residential.
Yeah, so I think that was changed
That
to,
conversation was before me, I just found that out today when I was reading through the articles that came back from the Attorney General, so.
yeah, but that could change. That was part of it, had to be changed. And then the other zoning thing was to allow the 3 stories, right?
I don't know if that was part of the zone. The biggest part was the overlay district.
Yeah, that's what I mean, in the overlay district. And within that district, you can have up to 3 stories.
In the AG's article back to, it didn't explain the zoning, it just said we found that it passes, that, it's constitutional,
Yeah.
so it didn't get into all the explicits.
Yeah, but all in all, I think it's going to help. Was it going to be a complete, everyone's going to be happy? Probably not, but I think we've made it easier to go through, and I think with some of the changes that are in there, I think it's worthwhile. Make it.
As long as it's good for the town, not,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of stuff, Ed has been great about it, is there's a lot of things that you don't need a variance for, you don't need to come to us. And he can make the decision right up front, so it stops a lot of things that come to our department that doesn't really have to come here. So I mean, that's a good part of it too, because
Yes, you can throw it on me.
why not? We'll just say
it makes the system a lot easier, believe it.
I think the other thing that's changed, goes back to us, is we're now gonna be in charge of signs.
We're gonna be in charge of signs.
Signs, yeah.
Oh, like when they come.
Right now, the planning board has it, but it's coming back to us. And originally, I've heard.
We had the signs.
We had the signs, and then I went to the planning board, now it's back to us. So we have the signs, yeah. And
We
we
have
made
the
a few
signs.
changes in the signs, but
That was more cleanup than.
it was more cleanup than anything else, yeah, yeah.
Most of it's been cleanup. There hasn't been.
Nothing radical
a few
that's
key
been
edits,
changed
but most
to
of
it,
it's
yeah.
just been contradictions, clarifications.
Yeah.
And putting it in an order that wasn't written with, tape and Elmer's.
Yeah. It seems like when everything had passed, they just shoved it somewhere. And that was it. It's in the book, it's in the book,
That's what they did before.
Yeah. But it's,
So that's too long.
it should be a good piece that when you read it anyhow. But it's all for your review too, and if you see something else that you don't like or you want to make a change, that's the time to do it,
Anybody wanna make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.